In today's video, I want to take you guys through a plethora of new PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 game reveals and updates. Now, we've only got one new PlayStation 5 reveal and a bunch of smaller PlayStation 4 games getting updates and reveal dates. But I do think it's important to still look at PS4 games. The early portion of the PS5's library is still going to be somewhat sparse, and people are still going to be looking to put their games on PS4, especially because the majority of you guys own a PS4, and I think there is going to be a large portion of you guys that aren't going to end up buying a PS5, at least not right away. You'll probably get one sometime down the line, but you get the idea. Without further ado, let's get right into it. And I want to kick things off with the PS5 game, or the probable PS5 game. It's one that I talked a little bit about, but it is the Journey to the West themed action RPG in Black Myth Wukong. This is a game that took everybody by storm. And out of nowhere, we got a 13-minute gameplay trailer from the guys over at Game Science. Now, this game is still early along, and Game Science is currently hiring staff to work on the title. I feel like this trailer was kind of put out in part to really win people over and showcase that they are working on something special. Nevertheless, that's hearsay, and I am incredibly excited for what this game could be. I think Wukong has deserved a game of high quality for a long time. We did get a recent one made by one of the China Hero studios, and that didn't turn out all too well. However, Black Myth Wukong is at an incredibly high level from a budget standpoint, and when you see this game in motion, it legitimately looks like a big budget AAA game, and the fact that Wukong is getting something like this, that makes me incredibly excited, because I mentioned it before, but Wukong was my main in League of Legends for a very long time. And the fact that he is possibly getting this big budget game, that is incredibly exciting. Now, I just hope this comes out sooner rather than later. A lot of these projects out of China tend to stay in development for a very long time. I look at a game like Lost Soul Aside, that looks incredible as well, but it's been quite a while since we've heard from that game, and hopefully that game is out sooner rather than later. Thankfully, this is one that I hope does make some progress, and I do think that it is going to make some progress just because Game Science seems to be of the standpoint that they are going to progress quite a bit with this game. We'll see what we hear more about it, but right now I am very, very interested in this game and hoping for the best out of it. Alright, moving on from that, Torchlight 3 launches this fall for PlayStation 4. It'll be coming to Xbox One, Switch, and PC in its full form as well. Currently in PC, it is in early access, and right now it is a little bit, seeing a lukewarm reception. Lukewarm might be putting it mildly. It has 4,485 Steam user reviews in early access. 46% of those are positive. That is a very, very not great score. Generally, you want that mostly positive to very positive reception at the very least, especially for an early access title. Now, early access titles could definitely get better. We've seen games like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky didn't even release as early access, but No Man's Sky made an incredible turnaround. I would hope something similar for Torchlight 3, because Torchlight 2 is a game that I am incredibly fond of, and I had a great time playing through that game back in like 2012 when it was initially released. So I want Torchlight 3 to be something special. Right now, still a little rough around the edges, but hopefully by this fall it exits early access and it becomes something of quality, especially when it hits every other platform on top of that. So it will have a vested interest on top of it. Alright, next up we have Projection First Light for PS4, X1, Switch, and PC. That'll be coming September 29th, and it's an illumination manipulation puzzle platformer, and it's coming to all major platforms. Definitely getting vibes of Limbo out of this one. We have a very dark art style out of this one. Following an Apple Arcade launch in October 2019, the illumination manipulation puzzle platformer Projection First Light will launch for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam on September 29th for $17.99. So pretty good price point, all things considered. Shadowplay Studios, the development studio, noted Projection First Light brings the art of shadow puppetry to life. We can't wait to share Greta's coming-of-age journey with everyone when the game arrives on PC and consoles this September. And they do have an overview of the game from Blowfish Studio. It notes, guide Greta on her journey to self-enlightenment as she explores breathtaking locations including China, Victorian England, Turkey, Indonesia, and more. So you got a variety of different settings here as well. Harness Greta's light manipulating ability to travel through this world while learning about each culture's powerful connection to this ancient art form. Illuminate the path forward to see the world in a new light. Build platforms from shadows so Greta can overcome obstacles and navigate through ornate environments. Bend light and shadows to discover creative solutions to puzzles and uncover alternate pathways. Again, the game will be out on September 29th, I should say. It has been out on PC or Apple Arcade for quite a while, but hopefully it makes a solid transition to every other platform. A demo is currently available on X1 and PC, so you can check that out if you're interested. Alright, next up we have Sense. A Cyberpunk Ghost Story launches August 25th for PC this fall, and for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PS Vita. I should say it'll be coming August 25th for PC, and then this fall for PS4, X1, Switch, and Vita. Surprised that Vita is still getting game releases. I loved my my Vita back in the day, but let's be real, I was one of the 4 people on planet Earth that actually enjoyed their PlayStation Vita. Sense of Cyberpunk Ghost Story is a 2.5D inspired by Clock Tower and Fatal Frame, so that's some pretty good inspiration. With careful attention to pacing, atmosphere, and storytelling, Sense hopes to return the horror genre to its roots, celebrating the slow, fearful creep of dread instead of relying on over-the-top action and jump scares. The ghosts as glitches on our reality act as spiritual and paranormal threats, not monsters to be killed. The horror of our story comes from atmosphere and storytelling, not loud and artificial effects. I think the horror genre can be employed in a variety of different ways. If you want to go the route of jump scares and you can keep it fresh for the entirety of a game, feel free to do that, but it's very hard to maintain that level of intrigue throughout the course of an 8 to 12 hour game. That's why a lot of titles that do employ a lot of jump scares, yes, the jump scares work for a little while, but then towards the latter portion of the game, you start seeing things coming and it loses a little bit of its luster. I think the idea on paper of really invoking fear and horror through the storytelling and narrative elements, I think that is something that is exciting. We'll see how this one turns out. It will be coming to PC very soon in just 3 days on August 25th, and it will be coming to just about every other major platform this fall, coming from Top Hat Studios. Alright, next up we have Unrailed. This launches September 23rd for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Cooperative multiplayer game currently in early access on PC. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PC reception. It's relatively strong. 3,560 user reviews, 92% positive, so that is a very encouraging sign. Unrailed is a co-op multiplayer game where you have to work together with your friends to build a train track across endless procedurally generated worlds, master random encounters with its inhabitants, upgrade your train, and keep it from derailing. Again, very positive reception for this one, priced relatively well at $19.99. A demo is available on PC, so you can check that one out, and September 23rd for all major platforms, so be on the lookout for that. Might be something that ends up surprising you. Alright, next up we have The Suicide of Rachel Foster for PS4 and X1. That'll be dropping August 26th, first-person narrative adventure game. This one wasn't received super well on PC, came out back on February 19th. Mostly positive reception, 72% positive across 1,003 user reviews. I really like the story elements of this game and this description. Coming back to the family hotel after years, a young woman finds herself trapped with the ghost from her past and an old cellular telephone as the only way to unveil a terrible truth. So it's a game of intrigue and mystery. That is always going to get me. Seems to have very mature storytelling. We'll see how that is implemented overall in the game. Not the best reception on PC, but maybe it will still be something interesting to check out. Very much a story-driven game, a walking simulator of sorts, so bear that in mind, but that will be out on August 26th. Alright, next up we have the side-scrolling action platformer Fallen Knight. This is something right up my alley. This will be coming to PS4 in Q1 of 2021. Definitely getting vibes of a little bit of Mega Man Zero out of this one, and that's something that is right for me. It notes, enjoy nostalgia-fueled gameplay that players have come to know and love, but with a unique parry and disarm system. As a Knight of the Round Table, killing should be a last resort. Disarm your enemies and parry their attacks as you clear level after level. It's got intense boss battles, a pretty nice stylistic presentation, but definitely nothing that is employing, you know, high-quality technical fidelity, but you really don't need to in this kind of game. I'm hoping it turns out well, as it will be coming to just about every major platform in Q1 of 2021, another game that dropped in Apple Arcade in October of 2019. And lastly, Walking Dead Onslaught, another Walking Dead VR game, will be headed to PSVR on September 29th. This is one that I am looking forward to because I loved Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. I thought that was fantastic on PSVR, and Walking Dead is an IP that I've recently really gotten into. I got up to Season 3. I finished Season 3. Really enjoyed it the whole way through, and then I just fell off out of nowhere, but I definitely gotta get back into it and continue to watch it because it's something that I was really enjoying. I heard some of the latter seasons fall off, which is a little bit unfortunate. I kind of know some of the story elements that are employed, but I also heard Season 9 is quite good, so we'll see how my opinions evolve on that. But Walking Dead Onslaught, definitely something I'm excited for, and you see main characters in Rick and Daryl being prominently featured in the artwork of the game, so that's pretty exciting. We'll see how this one turns out. It's coming from Servos, a studio that has worked on some other VR games, including Raw Data, which was really well received. We'll see how this one ultimately turns out come September 29th. And that is going to conclude this video. Again, a lot of quality games coming out. While these aren't the biggest known games, I mean, Journey to the West is getting a lot of attention, but a lot of these other games, you know, Sense, a Cyberpunk Ghost Story, Projection First Light, Unrailed, these games are going a little bit under the radar, but they still look to be quite good, and they will be out in the relative and near future. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.